In this episode, we're sharing appetizers and drinks with Sentinel Six.
He hails from the semi-planet known as Junctionarian, and he's on a mission.
So roll up your towel into a pillow, lean back, and
prepare to learn about bad decisions and why he wants you making more of them.
Shut up and sit down.
Once again, we are here in booth 42, here in Millyways, the restaurant at the end of the universe, and I am so, I'm honored. I have bumped into a rather fascinating individual in the line for the restroom.
Yes, I'm Sentinel Six. That is my name.
so Sentinel is your first name and Six is your surname.
Oh, sorry. Sentinel is my assignment. Six is my name.
Oh.
I'm from Junctionarian. It's a small planet, which is actually a piece of a moon floating in the outer rim near the void.
Yes. I am familiar with the void. I didn't know there was anything chock full of life out there that close to it.
Well, there's not much. Junctionarian is a piece of a moon that was blown off from a world called Capstone. Capstone was a world where people debated whether or not the world was flat. So what happened was they got into a war. It was a civil war over the debate of whether the world was flat or round. And the Capstonians and the Ignoronians fought each other. And when they did that, it blew up. And the few of us found that our moon blew in half, and now half of the moon is flat, and it floats in the outer rim, and that's where we are. And I'm a sentinel on Junctionarian.
How ironic. That is brutal irony at its best.
Here's the problem with Junctionarian. We are the centerpiece for all bad decisions. So if someone makes a poor choice, it manifests on Junctionarian. So then we patrol the universe in an attempt to get people to stop making bad decisions.
Horatio, I'm thinking there's some sort of connection between Schenecticus and Junctionarian.
Schenecticus is basically another way of saying bad planning.
You would clean up. You would have so much to do on his planet.
Oh.
It would wear you out.
You should visit my world.
You have a whole planet. We have about 46 people.
We have no idea what the size of our population is on our planet because when people start counting, they lose their attention to it. They stop counting. They counted people twice.
Oh.
They counted themselves numerous times because they were in the mirror.
So we get involved and we try to convince the people who believe you shouldn't count people to see otherwise. But you can't convince them. You have to trick them.
How do you trick them? That's just fascinating. Also, I would like to know if someone was trying to trick me into something.
Well, you would never know.
Oh.
You would never know if a sentinel was trying to trick you because they would be disguised as someone else.
Oh.
I'm actually not disguised as anyone else because I am here trying to get away from Junctionarian.
This is a good reason to be here at the restaurant.
I'm just tired of trying to convince people to make the right decision and having them make the bad decision over and over again and having to live in a world where it manifests itself and bothers all the people who didn't make the decision.
I may have to use your help.
Yes.
Because, I get here and the menu is overwhelming and I always go with what I know and I order troccoli.
Every time he looks over the menu for an hour.
It's the classic situation of go with what I know, or this long list of things I haven't tried.
Yes.
I know troccoli's bad for me.
Yes.
But it tastes really good. I know I'm going to like it.
Yes.
So that's one of my issues that you could probably give me some help with.
Well, I could, but the decision was already made. Coming here was a bad decision. Anything you get on the menu is going to be terrible for you. If you want to live a perfect Junctionarian life and not have any effect on other people, you would sit outside and eat grape nuts. Of course, that's a boring decision. Now that you're here, you should have everything. My table's right over there. It's filled with waffles and hash browns and waffles with hash browns mixed inside of them.
So you're saying it's a stuffed waffle. Ooh.
Yes, a stuffed waffle. Yes, and then just a mountain of cocaine.
I thought that was powdered sugar on the waffles, but apparently not.
Powdered sugar in the cocaine.
Oh.
Yes, to flavor it. I just need the bad decisions to mount up over in that space because I am no longer at Junctionarian, and I'm quite frankly I need the world to end over there.
The good thing about being here, you're going to get to see the universe end.
Yes.
Right at the end of your meal. So
Right before the sweet card.
That could bring some closure to you.
Yes.
Are you planning on partaking in the end of the universe then?
Oh, no.
It sounds like this is like a last meal.
The end of Junctionarian. It's hanging on by a thread. It's a whale on hospice. I finally said, the heck with Junctionarian. I'm going to go out there, celebrate the bad decisions, and have all those bad decisions manifest back on Junctionarian. So while I'm eating all of this fatty food, somewhere on Junctionarian, some sort of fat slug is coming out of the ground and consuming part of the world. And that's fine, because if we keep trying to save it, it's just going to take all our time.
So are you hoping it'll just eventually, if you ignore it, it will eventually go away?
Yes. If I just ignore it, I won't have to deal with it. The burden of knowing is what's bothering me. I'm so tired of knowing.
Can you wipe your memory?
I'm not sure I can. That's the problem with Junctionarians, is that we are projectionists. So we can see forward, but we can't see backwards in time. Because if we saw backwards in time, we'd learn from our mistakes. So all we can do is see the mistakes that are coming.
And try to avoid them or try to make them worse?
Yes, we have to make the decision, but we know that everything will get worse every time we allow a bad decision to happen. But we can't stop people from making bad decisions.
The universe is full of bad decisions.
How far can you project?
Oh, good question.
Oh, probably about an hour or so. Sometimes I can sense it coming, but I can't get details until I get close. I can't tell you the weather. I can tell you the nature of what's going to happen, but I can't tell you the actual temperature.
Do you get physically ill? Do you get hot? Do you get tingly?
Basically what happens is my nose starts to twitch and I start to be led towards where the next decision's going to happen. They call this the junction point, which is where we got our name, Junctionarian. And at this juncture point, this is where someone's going to decide whether to make a smart decision or they're going to make a really bad decision. Right at that moment, I will come and I will know that it's about to happen. And so, for instance, if someone were going to vote and they were going to make a bad decision, I might meet them at the gas station and they would say, "Do you know where the voting polls are?" And I might say, "Oh, that voting poll burned down 5 years ago."
Therefore preventing their bad decision from manifesting.
Yes, because there's no convincing them of what they're going to do. You simply have to misdirect.
So no changing of the mind. You just have to foil the action.
Otherwise, something terrible happens.
What is the most extreme thing you've done to prevent someone from making a bad decision?
Oh, let's see. One time, there was a man, and he wanted to put ketchup on his hot dog. Now, this is a terrible decision.
That has ruined civilizations.
Yes, that's quite a burden to have on your shoulders. That's why I just gave up. I'm going to go around and push bad decisions forward.
I'm glad that's kind of what you're trying to do now, because I'm worried about what I may put on my food and whether or not you're going to slap it out of my hand. Because or if I was going to put one condiment on, how do I know if you recommended another one that you were trying to foil my attempt to condomize my food?
Condomize. What I would do is I would do a classic Sentinel Six trick, which is that I would tap you on the shoulder and I would say, "Look, there goes John Bon Jovi." And you would turn to look for John Bon Jovi. And at that time, I would probably throw something into your food, like arsenic.
How do you know my people aren't immune to arsenic?
Oh, that's a good point. I would have to spend time with you beforehand to know what is a bad decision for you and then tempt you towards that. So I would say, "Have you ever tried arsenic before?" And then you would say, what would you say? "Let's try it out." I would say,
"Oh, yes, let's try a situation.
I like this. We'll role play.
I am a server. What would you like to eat, sir?"
"Please, may I have your finest mac and cheese and a bottle of your hottest sauce?"
"Oh, have you ever tried arsenic, my friend?"
"I have, because actually it's one of the finest gourmet elements on my planet."
"Yes. Did you know that every time you consume arsenic, a tiny puppy back in Junctionarian loses one of its legs.
I had no idea.
Yes.
I'm not going to put that on my mac and cheese now.
They've got 4 legs. Why do they need all of them? Listen, take some arsenic. Have it for yourself if you're interested. If not, it's no big deal because do you know what's going on right now?
As long as the puppies are going to be okay, I guess it's, why not?
It's not your concern. It's happening all the way in Junctionarian. But do you know what I'm noticing right now? That John Bon Jovi is going to the restroom, walking over there.
Where?
Let's take a look. Yes, right over there.
Where?
There's,
I don't see him.
now I have put arsenic into your food, and now it's all done. But I had to find out how the arsenic affected you before I did it. Yes.
And scene. That was most impressive.
You got me. You got me. I didn't think I was going to fall for it, but I did.
Should we clarify for some of the listeners out there who don't know, this John Bon Jovi, of course, is I understand there are naturally occurring John Bon Jovis on most every planet in the universe. Which John Bon Jovi are we talking about here? Is this the multi-legged squid, or is this?
It's the dessert.
Oh,
The John Bon Jovi.
oh,
Yes,
oh.
it's a very famous dessert that can, on occasion, get up and try to get away from you.
That makes sense.
And when that happens, you have to track it down. So everyone's on the lookout for John Bon Jovi because otherwise your food walks away, and nobody wants that.
Yeah, well, it's slippery when wet, so it can get away at times.
Oh, yes, it is.
And when it's on fire, it's very, very hot.
Well, and I, of course, try to entice people to eat John Bon Jovis because they're very bad medicine.
Ah,
For instance, Junctionarian's been living on a prayer for years. That's why I'm out here trying to end it.
let's recap a bit. So you're going throughout the universe, ignoring the problems on Junctionarian, correct? This is your crusade.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
That I most worthwhile as far as I'm concerned.
Unsavable place it is. I want it to go out in a blaze of glory.
Oh, I think you're halfway there, though.
Yes, it could be. But again, prayer. Don't forget to pray. Don't forget about the prayer.
Yes.
Well, once your planet's unsalvageable, you just have to make the decision that it's time to go. And I think you've made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said you're Sentinel 6. Were there
Oh, yes.
were there 5 other Sentinels before you? Was there no room for you to move up?
That happens a lot. People assume that the 6 means that there were 5 before and that there are perhaps at least 4 after. But the 6 is literally just coincidentally my name.
Ah. So if your last name were, say, a color like purple, it would not mean you are purple. It just means that is your name.
Yes, but they're all named John.
Sentinel John 6.
John 1, John 2, Sentinel John 3, Sentinel John 4.
What are there any sub sentinels, like a John 3:16, perhaps?
Oh, yes. Well, if you're counting children, yes.
So do you have any children?
Oh, no. I plan to, though, because that's a terrible decision. And I want to make sure Junctionarian does eventually fade from existence. So I'm out here looking to mate frequently and often.
Well, then I would suggest the bar post your meal.
Oh,
was probably the best place
yes.
to maybe make that happen.
Yes.
Also, certain stalls in the restroom, you have to look for a special emblem, but it's a wonderful place to procreate or practice procreating.
I'm intending to walk up and say, hello, I'm trying to destroy a world. Would you like to breed with me and see how well that goes?
Ah, that could not fail.
Yeah.
That seems like a sure
Directness.
Yeah.
Directness is always the bold and most accepted choice.
Takes the pressure off.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
doesn't it? You know from the beginning what you're up against,
Yes.
or what you'll be rubbing up against.
You
Yes.
don't have to go into what your prospects are for your job or what you like to eat. You're really just going right for the
Yes.
breeding jugular.
Ooh, the breeding jugular, yes. Now, you mentioned something earlier about stadiums and sporting events on your world.
Yes.
So sports are a thing. You have sports, art, entertainment.
Or they were, right?
Were.
Well, they were. People would go out and it was like a gladiator pit. And then people would participate and then they would die. So this is back on Capstone. And what would happen is then there was half the planet would say, they're not dying. They're fine. They enjoy it. And the other half would say, no, they're dying. Look, their corpses all over the ground. And then the other half would say, no, I don't see it. Let's have another gladiator match. And so eventually the dead bodies kept piling up, that eventually we would close the stadium and we would just put dirt over it and call it a trash heap.
It seems like your planet's very 50-50. Either 50% believe round, 50% believe flat.
Yes, it's always.
Half full, half empty.
Yeah.
Yes, very half full, half empty. Is it always the same halves? So if half the people think the gladiators are good, is that always the same? Is that the same half that also believes it's flat? Or is there any more intermingling?
Well, it kind of depends on who says it first. And whoever says it first, the people who had already agreed on previous things agree with that person. It's more important to agree with the people on your side than it is to identify the situation. So most people don't think about it at all. They just agree with whoever said it first on their side. Yeah.
So you really have to hope that first person maybe actually took some time to think things through.
Well, that would take too long, though. The more important thing is to make a decision as quickly as possible.
Do you have any technology, any movement on your planet to actually verify things?
Well, the most important thing is to make sure once a verification comes out to announce that it's not real.
Creating that uncertainty that you seem to thrive.
Yes. So once a verification comes out, the important thing is to quickly spread that it's not real to everyone in your party.
Very efficient in its way.
Yeah.
It makes for a very unstable planet. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't get blown up sooner.
Well, Capstone did blow up, and now we are just a small discus piece of the moon of Capstone, which we call Junctionarian. It's really like the size of 15 large dump trucks tied together.
That's a very, very visceral image.
Yeah, yes.
Well, that's still a lot of space for 46 people.
Yes, well, now...
You could still elbow room and everything. Although, how many elbows do you have?
We haven't described you. How rude of us.
No, I'm surprised you haven't commented on my very, very, very large neck.
I didn't want to say anything. I didn't know if it was a part of your physicality or costuming. Or...
I thought it might be a scarf.
Well, no, it's so that we don't smell our own feces. Our neck is really long, and so it keeps us far away from the trash and junk that we produce.
And reality.
Yes.
Evolution at its
work.
best, right there.
Right.
Yes.
Did what happened to the people whose necks didn't evolve?
Well, they were incorrect. So, we instantly made it so they weren't allowed to go to any of the restrooms, and they held it too long and died.
By explosions and...
My neck is so tall that I very rarely see what's going on. I just assume that they died from an ability to go to the bathroom because we didn't allow them to go to the bathrooms anymore.
That, once again, why verify when you can just assume?
Yes.
Assumptions are so much quicker, and they feel good. They really feel good.
They make the encouragement. They make an ass out of you and me, which is wonderful that we can share that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They give us something to share. Your world sounds a bit more efficient than I had otherwise thought.
And efficiency is key.
Yes, it is. I mean, we were able to blow ourselves up much quicker than other worlds because we made decisions efficiently and we argued efficiently and we quickly got to destroying one another so that we could be done with it. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to efficiently get rid of the rest of it.
Are you looking for anyone to join you in this crusade?
As long as people keep making bad decisions, my agenda is playing out. What I'm really looking to do is stop good people from participating.
Oh.
Yes. Anyone who's making good decisions, I go out and try to convince them otherwise. So the people out in the street who are eating raisins and exercising and doing healthy things, I try to do things.
Raisins.
Oh, yes, the disgusting little shrunken testicles that people eat from plants.
Well,
I was just going to say they look like little tiny.
Well, they are.
They do.
They're plant testicles.
You read my... Did you just... You just projected into the future, knew what I was going to say, and you beat me to it.
Yes, I knew you were going to say it. I'm a projectionism. Well, with my nose, I get a twinge whenever something's about to happen that I already know is going to happen.
It tinged on testicles?
Yes. Oh, yes. Anytime testicles going to come up in conversation. I know well in advance. I once knew someone who was going to kick me in the testicles, and I knew for an hour, and I sat there at the table, and I got so upset because I knew someone was going to kick me in the testicles, and there wasn't anything I could do about it. And so finally, I decided to go hide in a restroom, and one of the people with the short necks who wasn't allowed into the restroom came in and kicked me in the testicles. And I start to think, well, if I hadn't have hidden here, I wouldn't have got kicked in the testicle.
You may have brought it on yourself.
I don't know.
You could have.
The important thing was I got through it.
Could you at least have used that prediction to maybe pre-ice your testicles in preparation?
That would be a good decision.
Oh, no, true. If your planet had, it may well have a motto or a creed, what would that be? So I assume the planet hasn't bothered to come up with one at this point.
Well, they've come up with several of them, and then immediately they're unverified. So, that's a tricky one. I would say,
What are...
Oh, no, please, go ahead.
What are some rumored ones? I'm sorry I keep interrupting you there.
No, you're not interrupting me. I don't have anything planned out in advance. Some say, just say no, just say yes is one of them. Say you, say me is another one. And then...
Or do they say it for always? Is that an always kind of...
Do they say it together?
It's tricky. Again, I guess being the only Junctionarian to leave Junctionaria, I guess I could set it. And then, as long as there's no one else here to argue with me, it would just be fact.
Ah, very good.
There would be no one to say that's fake.
Now, are you, as the one Junctionarian who is left, are you the only one who has made a good decision?
I guess everything I say is correct right now, if you think about it that way. Oh, no. I've made a good decision, thus extended the hospice that is Junctionarian. Oh, no. I suppose the saying I would say for Junctionarian is, if you can't outsmart them, eat your own crap.
That is profound. And also, it would look lovely on a T-shirt. That's the most important thing about a planet's motto, is that it look good on merchandising material.
And you need a good logo.
Now, I noticed that you are wearing a turtleneck, and it quite a bit of material used there for the neck part.
I try to keep my neck as concealed as possible in case someone identifies me as a Junctionarian, which is almost impossible because there's so very few of us left.
It was, strangely enough, I did not notice your neck at first. Trellis had to point that out to me. So well concealed.
The black on the turtleneck is probably what's making the neck look not quite as
big. And it's definitely slimming.
Slimming.
Yes, it is slimming. Yes, we're big fans of slimming. That is the one thing all Junctionarians agree upon, is that black is slimming.
That is a positive aspect, I think.
But being slim or not slim is a huge debate amongst the Junctionarians. So we know that black is slimming, but the slimming is bad and slimming is good is where the next war took place.
And different definitions of what slim is, where the line is between slim and not slim.
Yeah.
Oh, is there any just plain fat on your world? Is it just different degrees of slim?
Basically, many debates about what is shaming and what isn't. So is fat shaming if it's actual fat on meat? It's a lot of debates over the level of what is being shamed. Calling someone physically that or identifying a substance in science. Is that shaming?
I suppose it would depend on if the substance, the meat, for example, in your example, if it's sentient.
Yes.
In this case, the meat is actually part of the getting to the meat of the problem.
Oh, well played, my friend.
Well played, yes indeed. Smart choices.
Yes. Every so often, I will say, not to brag on Trellis, but every so often, usually when you least expect it, something just absolutely brilliant will come out of his face hole.
I don't want to call attention to it, but you noticed that I got very quiet before you said that. That's because I knew you were about to make a brilliant comment on meat. I am a projection.
I didn't realize it was going to be as brilliant as it turned out, though.
I did.
I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good.
I saw that you were all a tingle.
Yes, it's hard for me to speak when my nose is tingling like that. That's why I brought cocaine and powdered sugar to calm me down.
Now, do you ever play cards? If you were at a casino, I would imagine you'd have a hard time hiding if you had a good hand. The adrenaline rush, which is so much part of the gambling, is just not there for you.
No, it's not. It's not the adrenaline rush. But what's really exciting for me is, what were the cards before?
Oh!
Because I can't really remember anything. Because I'm like, no, that was a straight flush. And they go,
maybe
no, it wasn't.
You should play retro.
A pair of twos. And I go, no, it wasn't. It was a straight flush because I can't remember. I'm always thinking forward.
You should play retro poker when all of the players are forced to play their previous hand.
Yes, yes. You could go on the retro poker circuit.
That would
possibly clean up.
Perhaps I'll do that. Once Junctionarian is finally destroyed and no longer a name on a place I can return to, I might go into historical poker.
Horatio, I think I may have my entry for the guy.
Oh, you do? Oh, very good. Very good.
Junctionarian, don't bother. It's not going to be here much longer.
Yes.
Oh.
It's out the door.
As we are all in agreement, then, I suppose if some of your other Junctionarians were here, they might immediately take up an opposite stance, despite really, I think the facts are pretty clear that it's not going to be here much longer. Well, then I'm just going to submit. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
I hope we never run into another Junctionarian because I don't want this whole experience contradicted.
True. If you meet me, I won't remember what I said. I might contradict myself.
Oh, fascinating. Maybe we can have you on as a guest again sometime and have a totally different experience. I enjoyed this quite a bit, and I actively try not to enjoy things.
Enjoyment is bad, but bad is enjoyable.
I do have one last question. What appetizer should I order next that will cause me the least gastric distress?
For sure, I would go with the super chili.
Ah, very good, thank you.
You're welcome. Add the arsenic; it gives it that divine taste.
I'm going to try some of yours.
Oh, I think that's John Bon Jovi over there.
Thank you for joining us for Hitchhikers and Appetizers. And of course, thanks to our guest, Sentinel Six. I have been Horatio Zinn.
And I continue to be Trellis Gardeen. Until next time, keep your towels clean, and if your pan-galactic gargle blaster is empty, the Drunk-O-Matic drink dispenser from Sirius Cybernetics Corporation will happily make you another. So don't panic.
Everything you heard in this episode was improvised, but not everything improvised was heard. This episode of Hitchhikers and Appetizers featured the voice talents of Mike Gorgone as Trellis Gardeen, Bran Peacock as Horatio Zinn, and Shad Kunkel as Sentinel Six. Finally, Hitchhikers and Appetizers is part of the Improv in Action Network. Check out other great improvised podcasts and projects at improvinaction.com. If you'd like to reach out to Trellis or Horatio, you can send electronic messages to them at our Galaxy address, hitchappspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can find them on Twitter with the handle hitchapps.
Shut up and sit down.